Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining me here in Istanbul, Turkey, this September the 13th. I've been in the crypto space for about 7 years now, where I got heavily interested in Ethereum when it was under $1. I decided to buy a mining rig, mined 200 Ethereum, bought 200 Ethereum, rode the wave in June of 2017 where Ethereum went to $350 and I sold near a very top. It gave me the opportunity to leave my job behind. I used to be an engineer and pursue crypto passionately full time because I saw something in crypto that made me excited. It made me want to wake up every single day, focus on it, learn as much as I can about it because it's something that I believe so strongly in the future. It gave me an opportunity to help out a lot of my family and friends and especially reinvest in the market where I caught coins such as IOTA, Omize Go, and XRP, where it went to the moon in 2017 and 2018, and I've never looked back since. And since I started in crypto, I even have been more hungry and passionate about it because I know what it's now capable of. Where we saw Bitcoin go to 20,000 in 2017, where we saw it last year double peak near the $69,000 range. So you have to ask yourself, are you bullish with crypto? But more importantly, one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk about today is this. Leveraging high has so many dangers. If you are in a high leverage position and a coin spikes up on you, it doesn't take much whatsoever to get liquidated. Here we see that Unfi has been really bearish with high RSI at this point, but we're gonna see exactly what could happen to this coin as we see it just spike up there over 100% in 5 minutes. If you were in a short, your account would have been gone in less than a few seconds. Take a look at the price action of this coin where we're seeing it go. It's still consolidating right now. Look at that wick. Look at that wick, a 30% wick where it's still going. It's still going right now. Look at that, unbelievable, another 100%. It's going up. It went up from $3 all the way to $19. How high could this coin go? It's now at $28. There's no way anybody could have shorted this position accurately. Anytime your leverage is too high, you're forgetting about managing your risk, and the reward is way greater than the risk that you take on. The best traders, they never take high leverage trades because they completely understand what can happen. Here, Bitcoin is attempting to break to the upside. It breaks upwards. Oh no! Bull trap and a huge rejection happens. The bears are taking over and a 5% drop happens in less than 1 minute right here. You don't want to be caught in this position. Here we see RVN breaking to the downside where it's slowly starting to consolidate right here. It's consolidating, it's consolidating. It looks like it wants to break to the upside, doesn't it? So it tries to break to the upside. There's a rally that's happening. It goes up over 10% right now. If you're leveraged really high, this can happen to you any moment without even notice. You see it consolidating and a 10% drop happens in under 5 minutes. If you were leveraged high, done. You'll never see your account again at that level for a long time. So now I'm gonna show you what not to do, and let's learn together to prevent these mistakes in the future. Come on. So let's get started first of all with just seeing what Bitcoin is doing and where it could possibly go. It's always important to get a perspective of what Bitcoin is doing and how the overall crypto market is reacting to Bitcoin's movement from the $18,900 range, hitting all the way up to $22,500. Make sure you guys are considering joining my premium Discord trading group. It's got a library of lessons, and education and analysis, and I'm also trading with the group as much as I can in this current market. I think that spending 3 months with me is definitely going to increase your skills a lot more than you know. Right now, there's currently a 7-day trial that I'm having just for the month of September. If you like it, make sure you guys stick around. It doesn't cost you anything to join it at all. And I've only got one more slot left for the lifetime premium Discord membership. That comes with the lifetime Discord membership. It comes with course version 2.0 as well, all 29 hours, over 53 lessons. It also comes with my Philakone Crypto 2nd edition book. And it also comes with a Team Philakone merchandise t-shirt that will be mailed out to you. So the Discord group is pretty awesome. It's got short lessons, long lessons, trading challenges. It's got the main group chat here that's fairly active. We talk about our portfolios. I give my analysis of what I'm trading. And I'm also trying to help people give the best advice that I could possibly give. So Bitcoin right now has been volatile, to say the least, okay? It ended up hitting around the $18,900, actually $500 range. It made a pretty large rally, going up a whole 23% right there. So zooming out on the big picture, okay, this is the important one to always make note of. If we zoom out on a non-log scale, connecting the high from November to right around here, this high in April, what we see is that Bitcoin is pretty much reaching a top, as you can see right here, okay? Do you guys see that? We are absolutely reaching a top already right now. One may argue that it hasn't reached the top yet. Okay, if you go from end to end, it has not reached the top yet. But if you draw it on the week, for example, just on the weekly here, okay, and you draw it from the bodies only, and you account for some bull trapped regions, what you're going to see very clearly is that it might have hit it already, okay? If you just draw it kind of like that, it might have a little room to go, okay? Just a little room. But if you draw it on the 3-day, for example, okay, you're going to see it actually hit it already. So this is a trend line, nevertheless, that has either been hit already or still has maybe another 1,000 to go at the most. But another thing that we're seeing is this right here. We are seeing it apex into this particular region where it's eventually, in my opinion, going to reach an apex conclusion and a possible drop to the downside. And apex is a region where the bulls and the bears, they kind of meet, okay? Supply is meeting demand right on point, and then one way is gonna go, and one way could absolutely fly. We may get a breakout to the upside, or we may get a breakout to the downside. What we see are some regions over here where we're seeing that it has held traditionally so far near the $18,500 range, okay? We're seeing 3 hits since June, which has now been about 87 days, so almost 3 months. So this, I saw it coming. I saw it in the group as well, called it in the Discord group. If you're not in it, you're going to miss on a lot of safety advice that I give to the group. My main goal for this Discord group is to protect people from making bad mistakes in terms of like, hey, they think it's bullish. I might advise them differently. I'm definitely going to give my perspective of what's going on to keep people safe in general, to prevent them from getting liquidated. So I see Bitcoin right now potentially hitting a really low number around $14,000, because if we zoom out on the weekly here, what we're seeing is that I'm going to go to Bitfinex actually, sorry. Going to Bitfinex where we have a little bit more data. Okay, if you just zoom out on the monthly here, you can see that this region above it, I like to consider the open and the close with the wick. $14,000 range with volumetric profile. It shows that a lot of activity is around this particular range. Not only that, Bitcoin has historically moved down about 85% historically, and between 12 to 14,000 is that number, just based off of many macroeconomic factors such as the energy crisis in Europe, inflation rate hikes as well, and a recession that's pretty much underway in the United States. It's very difficult to see crypto going to the moon without new money being injected currently in the market right now. There needs to be regulation that's going to come into play. Hopefully 2023 is my goal, mid 2023. Perhaps stablecoins could be regulated, like I keep referencing Kevin O'Leary, that's very bullish on crypto in general right now. Okay, but the question is it still a good time to dollar cost average? As many of you know, I've ended up liquidating 20% of my entire portfolio position because of several factors, which is one, I want to be sure that I'm in a position. I've been managing it for about 5 years now, shedding near 40, 50K ranges. And then I'm going to be buying back more. I want to keep cash on hand so I can purchase crypto if it does dip lower. That's really important. Okay. You got to have cash on hand for if a drop happens, but you also maybe should consider being in a position if the bull market does come. Hence why I'm still dollar cost averaging right now, and I'm making sure that I'm in the game rather than not being in the game. So overall, I see Bitcoin hitting a very low number. Unfortunately, I don't see it rallying to something like 25, 30, 40K anytime soon. I see the market as a relief rally that's rallying right now, just temporarily, okay? And I'm seeing some major coins like Reef. Luna has done major rallies like 580% in only 16 days. We're seeing RVN spike to the upside, doing 164% in only 10 days. This was a very easy short position to take, in my opinion, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we caught it with the group and we actually nailed the target. And the target was this lower trendline support right here, connecting waves 2 and 4. And we're also seeing Reef do some monstrous gains of 51%. So despite the relief rally right now, we're still seeing lots of different cryptos that are relief rallying. I just, once again, to reiterate, I don't see crypto rallying to these major highs because of those factors that I've mentioned above. So now let's get into leveraging and going too high. So let's talk about leveraging too high. Everybody has done it one time or another before. Just to remind everybody that fortunes are not made overnight. It takes a high level of consistency to reach a big bankroll that's going to take lots of discipline and focus over time. I'm just going to say what's on my mind, okay? When I first started trading, I definitely leveraged high. And when I say high, I'm talking about 3x on Bitfinex. I was playing with anywhere between $200 to $600. And I was leveraging it anywhere between $600 to almost $2,000. I remember this one time I was trying to catch a Neo fifth wave, okay? It was a fifth subwave at the bottom trying to short the fifth wave. And unfortunately, I was leveraged 3x. It was the very bottom. It reached about a 50% drop already. And I tried to short the last wave. I was leveraged times 3 only. And of course, surely enough, it ended up spiking up over 20% and I lost a gigantic fortune. Just had to get some water there. And that was the one moment I realized that, hey, I can't react to this. Because when you're in the too high of a leveraged position, what happens is you're a deer caught in the headlights, okay? It only takes a 10% drop for you to get liquidated if you're leveraging 10% or 10x. If you're leveraging 20x, that's even worse because the market only needs to move 5% for you to get entirely wiped out. And I've demonstrated earlier in the previous videos in here that it doesn't take much for you to get liquidated. These spikes, and they happen all the time in these 5% candles. So what you need to learn to do, in my honest and sincere opinion, is to learn how to play small. But how do you do this? First of all, you got to write down a set of rules for yourself. If you are one of the people that got liquidated before, write down what happened and the main reason for it. I apologize, my webcam is being a little bit weird right now because I think it's the wiring in my computer. The USB extension is a little bit off there. So if you made these mistakes, you have to document these mistakes that you've made previously. Write it down on a piece of paper, remember it firmly, read it every single night before you go to sleep and before every single trade that you actually take as well. I got liquidated because I leveraged too high. And that should ring a bell. I think that the people that are the most successful in crypto, they're going to be the ones that have a firm set of rules that they abide by but knowing what to do is a lot easier than actually doing it. You have to be consistent, dedicated, and focused with the rules that you set forth for yourself. And without reviewing these rules and writing them down every single day, you don't have a system. Many people just keep trading and they don't document what they're doing, and they just say to themselves, I'm going to remember what I'm doing and I'm not going to do it again, right? That's not enough. You got to write it down. You have to have a journal. You have to have a log. And know that your job is to protect and preserve your capital so you can actually grow it. It's not so you can like get these big wins, okay? Going for in football, American football, the Hail Mary pass, we call it, where it was a really long throw and someone caught it, but it doesn't happen often, right? Or throwing a basketball from half court, right? It doesn't really happen often. Once in a while, you'll get it, but more often than not, you're going to end up taking risks where it's not going to be successful. The successful traders, they make small and safe trades over time. Remember that the profit that you're making, if you want to be profitable and successful in trading, the profit is a bonus from the trades that you take. I had to unfortunately let somebody go in terms of banning someone in my Discord group today. And the reason for this is because seeing high leverage trades that people take, right? They're not showing their losses, keep in mind. They're only showing these 10x, 20x, 50x percentage gains, right? But they're not showing you how many times they actually got liquidated before they started making this profit. And it's a vicious cycle. You make big profit from high leverage, you gamble it, and then you're just going to end up getting liquidated again. I firmly believe that if you don't have the discipline to actually leverage low, you're certainly not going to have the discipline to cut your losses fast. Does that make sense? I'll say that again. If you don't have the discipline to leverage low, you also won't have the discipline to cut your losses fast. And then all of a sudden, the market moves against you, or even if you're leveraging slow, the market moves against you. You don't have time to react to cutting your losses fast because you're too deer caught in the headlights, we say, where you're just struck by this movement and you're unable to cut your losses because your bias was so high to leverage that much to begin with. The people that leverage really high, their bias is generally really strong. They're super confident about the trade, hence why they leverage really high. But that lacks a lot of discipline. And personally myself, after my first year of getting liquidated, I think 3 to 5 times, I just never did it again. I built my account really slowly, 1 to 5% per day. And now you guys are seeing me trade anywhere from 500K up to $1 million. Last year, my biggest position was 1.2 mil. This year, my biggest position was 1.4 mil. And guess how much leverage? That's maybe 1 or 2 leverage at most. You got to make sure you have that liquidity and that balance in your actual account to make sure that you can prevent yourself from getting leveraged or liquidated. If you leverage way too high, it's guaranteed and it's bound to happen that a mistake is going to be made, and that mistake won't even be your fault to begin with, except for leveraging too high. The market will move against you and you're just going to get destroyed. So my best advice I can give people is write down what you're doing wrong. Write down a set of rules. Write down, I will not leverage, I will not leverage, I will not leverage high. Understand that money is made slowly over time and that the profit is a bonus from good trades. You're not going to become, whatever your goal is, whether it's to have $50,000, $5,000 in your bank, in your Binance or wherever you trade, right? Your balance to trade, whether it's to have 100,000 or 1 million, that goal can only be reached if you are successfully managing your discipline and literally preventing yourself from leveraging high. I know that a lot of you have been leveraged before. A lot of people say to me, I gotta leave your Discord group because I'm getting destroyed because I'm leveraging high and I'm getting liquidated. These liquidations are only your fault. It's not something someone could drill into your head or force you to not take these leverage trades. Only you can make this decision to not leverage high, and it needs to start today because you will make these mistakes. I know a lot of you will make these high leverage trades, right? And you're going to be profitable for a week or a month or even 6 months. And then all of a sudden, bam, you end up getting liquidated and you lose and you wipe out that entire profit that was made over weeks or months because of that one trade, that lack of discipline, that greediness, that overconfidence. These are emotions that are going to destroy you. A lot of people are great analysts. I think it doesn't take much to be a good analyst, to make a good chart and be right about it later. But when you actually add the fundamental part of emotions to the trading, where you're greedy because you're so confident of this position, when you add that in, that's what destroys people. To be a good analyst is not the same thing to be a good trader. To be a good trader requires being a good analyst, first of all, and also having that discipline and focus to be consistent with the way that you trade. You should not be leveraging high at all. In fact, if you can prove to yourself, okay, that let's just a challenge for you. If you take this challenge, you're going to be one step closer to being successful, in my opinion. Doesn't guarantee it, but it's certainly going to build some discipline. Some building discipline exercises that I recommend is go 1 week without leveraging more than 1x. Just see if you can do it. Then the next week, if you're consistent, try 2x, right? Or even try 1 month leveraging only 1x. And then try 1 month. If you're going to leverage anyways, I know you guys, try leveraging only 2x for 1 entire month. And no matter what you do, cut your loss at 1 to 3% wherever you decide to cut your loss. Just make sure you cut it. Don't let these losses of yours ride. These cascading liquidation effects are deadly, because what happens when a big drop happens, if you were logging, for example, is that it knocks out all these people getting liquidated. Okay. So if, let's just say like 1,000 people are in a long position and they're leveraged like 10x. So when the price drops, it only takes a 10% drop for them to get liquidated. So when these liquidations happen, these people in a long, they need to sell to close their position, and the exchange will automatically close your position for you. So now all of a sudden you got 1,000 people that's literally selling off their position at once. So it starts this waterfall cascading effect of you just getting much lower and lower and lower and lower. And if you hold on to your position, right? Let's just say that your price was a little bit lower, the entry, these drops will eventually flood to yours, and it could cause a huge wick. And these wicks, they're going to destroy you over time. So I don't know how to tell people, right? I'm looking at you guys shaking your head. I don't know how to tell you to stop leveraging high, except try to scare you. You should be scared when it comes to leveraging high, because it's going to happen, guys. It happens to everybody. The market is so unpredictable and volatile with crypto that it's a 100% chance that you will get eventually liquidated if you're leveraging even 10x or 5x. Understand that the money needs to come in slowly, safely, over time. No greed should be involved. They're like, why? You have to ask, if you take a step back from trading and you really ask yourself, why am I leveraging high? What is the point of it? What is it achieving? Is it helping me? Right? If you ask yourself these serious questions, you can actually figure out the reason why you're leveraging high. And the number one reason is because you want to play with a bigger bankroll so you can actually make more money. Well, that's greed talking and not understanding the concept of actually playing little, right? If you deeply ask yourself the question, why am I doing it? You're going to answer with a really ugly answer that you don't want to hear, that's only negative. And it's very negative. It's very bad, right? To leverage this high. There's nothing good that comes out of leveraging high except for a chance to possibly make more money quicker. But think of the dangers. This should absolutely scare you. So I wanted to leave you guys off with this thought right here, that please don't do it, because it's not going to affect me. It's only going to affect your bankroll, your confidence, right? And your progression in the long run. Every time you get liquidated, it sets you back, because you either have to wait for more money to come in, or your career could be devastated and it's over. So don't do it, guys. Take my advice from the perspective of someone in the game for over 7 years now that does this full time. Last thing you want to do is destroy your career. So I just want to thank you guys for joining me for this video. I hope that it rang a bell in some way or another. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Make sure you're hitting that like, subscribe, and notification button to get more top tier quality content and to let me know I'm doing a great job. So have yourself a great day, and I'll see you for the next video, okay? The next video is going to talk about paper trading and trading with the right balance size so that you can have the same effect and feel of trading for real. So you can have actual lessons that cost something, but you can still benefit from it. That's going to be a really good topic, and I'll see you guys later. Bye now. Take care.